Hello, in this training video we will cover entering tax rates in Revolution EHR. To enter your tax rate, please go to System Admin, which is your three-gear icon. Choose General and Locations. Once you're in your locations, open your location. If you have multiple locations, you will need to enter your tax rate at each location. Once you've opened your location, please choose your Tax Information tab and select the Add button. You'll notice you'll get a new screen that says Add Tax Rate. There are two types. We have single and group. You need to enter all of your single rates first, and then you'll be able to utilize a group rate if needed. To enter a single rate, please go ahead and choose a name. There's no need to enter a percentage sign here, just enter your tax rate. If you'd like, you can enter a description or you can leave it blank. Go ahead and select Save. Again, enter your single rates for each tax rate as needed. Once you have your taxes set up as needed, you can go ahead and then create a group tax. If you need to have items charged for a city, county, and a state tax, you would group those together. To do that, again, you'd select your Add button. You'd choose Group at this point, and then you'd give it a name. It can be anything. I'm going to go ahead and call this one Local and State Tax. I can enter a description if I'd like, but again, it is not required, only those areas with an asterisk. And from here at tax rates, when I click my drop down, I'll see my list of options. So I'll be able to choose the taxes I need to be included into this group rate. Once I'm done making my selection, I'll go ahead and choose Save. That will create a group type for that local state tax rate that I named, and it's going to include the taxes for my three choices, which in this instance was my SC tax, my Anne County tax, and my Blair City tax. You'll notice that my rate increased based on the addition of all of those tax rates. Once I'm done entering my tax rates, I'll go ahead and select Save. If I need to enter it for any of my other locations, again, you'd come to the same area and enter the tax information. Once you've entered your tax rates, you can then add them to your products or services, depending on your state or county laws. You'll go to your inventory block icon. In this instance, I'm going to use products as my example. And then we were in Raspberry Lane for that location, so I'll go ahead and change my location here. And in this instance, to make it easy, I'm going to go ahead and add it to my contact lens. Again, this process is going to be the same whether you're adding it to services or taxes. You'll want to open the item, come to the pricing information, choose the tax field, and in the drop down, you'll have your tax options. And these tax options are coming from your location settings on that tax information tab. In this instance, I'm going to use my group tax rate and choose local and state tax rate. And once I'm done, I'll select Save. So that you can see an example of a single tax rate, I'm going to go ahead and choose another location. This already has one in it. I'm going to delete it by selecting that X, and then I'll choose a new location tax. I'm going to go ahead and choose my SC tax here, and I'll go ahead and select Save. Once I have my product with the tax rate, when I create an invoice and I add that item to an invoice, that's when the taxes will apply to that item. Let me go ahead and create a patient invoice. Not going to associate it with an accountant in this example. Now I'll go ahead and select Add, and it'll give me the pricing products for those items that I chose. So we've got our ProClear multifocal, and that's been added to my invoice. And you'll notice that I have a tax rate, and if I hover over my tax column, it will give me a breakdown of what those tax amounts are for this invoice. If I create another invoice for this same patient, this location is populating as I'm creating the invoice outside of an encounter, outside of an order. It's populating based on my location here. So I just need to make sure that if I'm creating an invoice this way, that I come in and I choose the correct location. And then I'll come down to add. When I select add here, as long as my location is correct, it'll pull for that product for that same location. So again, I'll choose contact lenses. I'll choose my contact lens that I just put the single tax against, added it to my invoice. And you'll notice again, I have a tax rate and it's just the single tax rate that's listed in the dropdown. At this point, I have invoices with items that have taxes associated to them. At this point, I can run a sales report to see what has been charged tax on my sales report. So I'll go to sales. I can choose my all sales by tax and select search. You notice here that I've got a tax column that says 1532. And it gives me my group rate here and the amount, and it gives me my single tax rate. And at this point, it's a quantity 1. Some tips when you're working with a group tax rate, please be aware that if you remove a tax, go ahead and open this. If you were to select delete over here on this side of a single tax rate that's part of a group tax rate, that single tax rate will stay inside this group. It will not remove it. If you need to adjust a group tax rate and you've deleted one, you would need to make sure that you open that tax rate, come into the drop down, and unselect any that you need to be deleting. Once it's done, you would select save. You'll notice now that it's dropped down. And you go ahead and put it back and select save for those choices. If you need to remove tax from a product or delete a tax, please be sure that you remove the tax from your products, either by opening the product and selecting the X to have it set to none, or if in products, you can remove all items by using this update properties and pricing. Update properties will allow you to remove tax if need be. I would say no item selected. It's going to adjust it for 78. And if I select update products, it would remove tax from all of my products. Then if need be, I can go in and I can add them again. Again, I can add multiple ones this way by going in and choosing my tax rate and then selecting update product, whichever works best. Services do not have this option with bulk properties updating. You will need to make sure that if you need to adjust a service, that you open the service. If your services require taxes, go ahead and choose the tax. If you need to change that tax or adjust it and you're creating a brand new tax rate, please be sure to come in here and exit out this tax before selecting delete in your tax information area. If you need to update the pricing of a single tax, let's say, for instance, my Anne County tax goes up to 3.8%, I can change the single tax rate and it will increase my group tax rate. If you should have further questions about entering tax rate or assigning that tax rate once it's been entered in your location to your products or services, please give us a call, live chat, or email into customer support. Thank you and have a good day.